to the Screen Time Continuum. It is a wonderful Sunday. My name is Keelan, and I am here with the fellas. What's going on, guys? Nick, Mike,
Happy Sunday, man.
happy Sunday.
Merry Christmas.
Somewhere in the world, maybe.
Soon enough.
Nowhere in the world yet.
Mariah Carey will be sneaking up behind you soon enough.
Uh, now I'm not looking forward to it no more.
No. You started the discussion. That's what happens.
Yeah, I know. I should shut up now.
All right. We are here on this Sunday to review Happiness for Beginners. Happiness for Beginners.
Yeah.
that was a cute Nick.
Oh, sorry about that. There we go. My bad. Happiness for Beginners. Let me get this through here. It came out in, I don't know. It doesn't. Oh, Jesus. All right. It came out July 27th, 2023. It is directed by Vicky Wright. It's written by Vicky Wright and Catherine Center. It stars Ellie Kemper, Luke Grimes, Nico Santos, also Blythe Danner, Ben Cook, Shavon Webster, Julia Shiplett, and Gus Burney. And the tagline for this movie is, Helen signs up for a wilderness survival course a year after getting divorced. She discovers through this experience that sometimes you have to get really lost in order to find yourself. Oh, dude, what?
I have a question.
No. No, that was like a greeting card. Gross. All right. Anyways.
You didn't read that before you watched the movie?
No, I didn't. No.
I immediately was like, ooh, Hallmark movie.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
When I saw, after watching it, the first thing I thought was the subreddit should be, am I the asshole for this whole movie?
Wait, you have kind of a harmonic ring that goes along with your voice right now. What did you say?
No, I was thinking that this whole after watching this movie and I saw the writers and the director's name, I was like, the subreddit is am I the asshole? Because it made all of it make sense when I saw there was a couple of women who wrote and directed this. Because I was like,
you asked for clarity, Keelan, and that's what you get.
Yeah, that's what I got.
But Mike, you need to get maybe a little closer to your mic or something because you're fading out.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh
much
man,
better.
hey,
Much
welcome to the
better.
party.
We can hear you.
All right, perfect. I'm gonna shut up from now on. Y'all go ahead.
Say something about, are you the asshole? No, I'm joking. I heard exactly.
That's the subreddit, yeah. I was like, oh, now it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so this movie was apparently also a book written by Catherine Center.
Yeah, I know.
So with both of those things, her being a part of the writing process for the film and writing the book, I'm gonna lean more towards just it's her project, and everyone else is associative to getting that completed.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that still lends to your question and point. So to answer your question, you're always the asshole. But
of course. Are you surprised? Yeah, no, never mind. Shut up. I'm gonna shut up.
I'm just gonna say I don't think it's as overbearing in this movie as you may be lending it to be at the moment.
Okay. Because
my thought.
First impression was this. I was well, it is, but when first 5 minutes into the movie, I was like, I hope she dies at the end. I didn't like her. I thought she was an overbearing, anal retentive asshole, and I couldn't.
Supposed to.
I should just get the popcorn.
I'm
gonna let you guys fight this one out.
I'm flipping the table, and I'm walking out the theater. I want my money back.
I know you've been over for a while characters that you're not supposed to like. I know that. I get that. However, your first impressions.
I just wanted to flip the table, get my money back, throw a popcorn and a brick at the screen. Okay, I got that out of my system. You guys go ahead. First impressions. My bad. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It
Fair
happens.
enough. Well, my first impressions of this movie, I thought it was going to be a little bit funnier. I expected something between River Wild and wait. Somewhere between River Wild and Without a Paddle. Jeez.
He's steamrolling you today, man.
Sorry.
God. Yeah, I expected somewhere between that. I expected kind of like a Big Bang Theory on the river in the woods kind of a movie, but kind of got more of a Will and Grace on the river in the woods kind of movie, which I hate you right now so bad.
I feel like you're too close to the mic now. Now that
now he can find his mic.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's okay.
I mean, and what I mean by that, I mean temperature comedy wise. Like if you watched or ever saw any of those shows, just the level of comedy, I guess what I'm trying to say, I saw, what's her name? Ellie Kemper. I think that's her name. Or Ellie Kemper. I saw her and I was immediately thinking like, oh, this is going to be really quirky, funny. Did not get as much of the quirky into the funny as much as just like, oh, okay, they know how to write a good scenario out, which was enjoyable actually to some level. I didn't hate this movie. I kind of enjoyed this. It was a good, for me at least, it was a nice change of pace. It was a good release from what we're typically watching, you know, no action and all of that good stuff, but really just, hey, are you interested in what these two got to talk about? The answer is no. But yeah, that's where this one went versus where a lot of other movies with a lot of the same elements would have gone. So I don't really know how detailed. I understand, Mike, why you cut your first thoughts short, because I'm not sure what verbiage I can use to articulate how I feel about this other than, hey, Nick, how do you feel about this?
Well, and let's see. This movie is like art in a waiting room.
Ooh.
It's, you notice it, it doesn't offend you, and then you kind of forget it afterwards.
Yeah,
that's about as much as I can say for this movie. It's, I mean, like, look, it's supposed to be a romantic comedy. I think it's a little light on the comedy.
and the romance.
There is a sort of romance, yeah, definitely. But there is not a lot of comedy here. I did chuckle a couple times, so I'm not going to say that there were no jokes, but I just felt like also, it just felt very contained, which is okay. I guess that's probably just what I can say about it. It's okay. If you like rom-coms, you might like it, but if you're like serious into rom-coms, you probably won't enjoy this as much as others out there.
I would almost liken this to Lady and the Tramp.
That movie's about two dogs. How can you do that?
Yeah, I like dogs.
I'm on Mike's train now. I'm just going to start picking on you for no reason.
Exit stage
You
left.
guys are. Let me tell you another thing.
I don't recall a spaghetti scene.
That's true. There was no spaghetti scene.
Incorrect. Their spaghetti scene happened very early, and it was her knee. Man, okay, wait, before we even get into all that. So yeah, first thoughts. Generally, it seems like we didn't hate this movie, but there's not a lot of interesting factor. It's almost like I made you guys watch the Babysitters Club or something.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. You know, we were watching this, and my wife said, we actually could probably find a good niche, and she's not wrong here. We could probably find a good niche in reviewing romantic comedies from a male perspective. So
I
if
actually
we
have
want to
no
put ourselves
issue
through
in
the
doing
torture, if we want to put ourselves through the
Right.
torture,
Look,
that might
I
be
have no
lucrative
issue in
for us.
talking about them. The question is, do I really have to watch all of it?
No,
Can I take breaks?
they're all the
Oh,
same thing.
They are.
While they are all the same thing, they have their own elements of what? And I would love to just dissect that. That would be, oh my God. Can we start with Sex in the City?
No,
God,
that's too
no.
long of a series. I'm not
Oh,
doing that.
can we start with The Notebook?
Maybe.
I actually like The Notebook,
I
and I
love
hate to
that
admit
movie,
that.
but I have no
I
problem.
hate to admit it.
Kidding me?
Yeah, not really.
You know, I love that movie. It's a good movie.
I'm ashamed that I like that movie.
I'm not. I was when I was younger, but you know, as I've gotten into my mature ages, I understand.
I'm still an old man, and
All right.
I was
All
forced
jokes
to watch
aside,
that movie.
all jokes aside, I do enjoy The Notebook, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we were to be a male panel watching a bunch of rom-coms or just romantic films. I think at some point we'd all equate to one thing and one thing only.
I think we're all on the same page.
I didn't cry. You cried. All right.
Hey,
so,
it's not Armageddon.
Say it again.
Ayla
It's
says
not
you're all
Armageddon.
over the map tonight, Mike.
He is.
Don't judge me.
Don't judge me.
Just wild.
You don't know his life. Come on.
Right. Ain't you playing Skyrim?
For beginners.
Yeah, exactly.
In this film, we meet Helen. Helen is a divorcee. Her ex-husband, Mike, apparently was never good enough for her, was never the guy that her family liked, or at least not her brother. And we see that from the very jump when she basically flashes back to her getting married. But she's going on this hike so that she can get over the fact that she was married to this dude for about 5 or 6 years. Now she's getting divorced, or now they are officially divorced, I should say. And she can move on after she has this new awakening of spirit by traveling through the forest with perfect strangers. She's looking for her brother first because she has to give him the keys. And by giving him the keys, he will be house sitting for her while she's gone, because apparently this is a week-long hiking trip, 2-week-long hiking trip.
Seems like it's 12 days to 14 days. That
Yeah,
is a very long hiking trip for a beginner. Yeah.
It's a beginner hiking trip for assumed 10 days. And what do they hike 10, 12 miles a day? Like, what are we doing?
It's eternity.
What are we doing? What is this?
I don't know.
So either way, that's where she's headed off to. But on her way there, she runs into Jake, who is her brother's friend. And
they
end up having this little
nothing.
Oh, they had this little party, and then the next morning everything is all good. But then we find out when she gets to the grounds to go on her trip that Jake is there too.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. Immediately I was like, I see what happened here. And I was like, she's gonna be mad when she finds out he followed her, and I didn't follow you. So anyway,
I'm not a stalker.
Right. We meet Helen. Helen used to be married to Mike. Mike is no more in the picture, even though he wants her back. But that's only because he realizes that he didn't know how to be a husband. Now he knows how to be a husband and be married. And that was just some real loser-esque shit. It was unnecessary.
I'm disagreeing.
Yeah, it's just unnecessary, like, for him to be such a sniveling sob after, dude, you didn't pay any attention to her on the wedding day. We saw that. Then you turn around and apparently you cheated on her, and that's why you're getting a divorce. Now it's, I realized I was never in the marriage.
Well, technically, she says that there was some infidelity, so maybe she cheated on him.
Right, because I don't remember if they said who cheated.
No, they didn't. But it's supposed to be implied that he cheated on her, but we can flip that. It's supposed
to be implied, you're right. But you're right, they never said it was him nor her. And it could have been her. You're right, because maybe he just never was there in general. Either way, they're split up. She's mad that Jakey Jake is there, but we all can see from the consumer stance, she's kind of excited that Jakey Jake is there. And yes, he's Jakey Jake right now. It is what it is. I mean, we saw what we saw. So, yeah, I guess we meet the cast, we meet the ensemble of all the people going on the hiking trip, and they kind of head out on the hiking trip immediately. It's a bunch of short-lived discussions and quick cut scenes to the next moment, which pretty much would traverse between night and day when you would have a cut scene. That's pretty much what we got through the entire movie, in fact. But very quick, they're on a bus. They're headed out to the hiking trail. They've gotten all of their rules and everything. And Beckett, who's their troop leader, seems like he's like about 12, maybe 14 years old. Looks like a little kid.
That's why they named him Doogie.
Yeah, that's exactly why they gave him the name Doogie. Yeah, they all got trail names at some point. But on the mission, on the trails, as soon as they get out there, Helen gets hurt. Like, she goes to...
They weren't even on the trail yet.
Excuse me?
They weren't even on the trail yet.
Yeah, you're right. They weren't on the trail.
They got to the starting point.
Yeah. Yeah, at the grounds. Still at the bus drop-off area. But yeah, she hurts herself, and right then and there, her and Jake have to have them a moment. And, she doesn't like it. But at the same time, Jake is the resident doctor, et cetera, so he has to be there. Yeah, I guess I should just keep introducing the people, because we end up having Mason, who's like this expert hiker, and he doesn't leave. He leaves everybody behind. Then you had Kaylee, and I forget the other girl's name.
Wendy
with an I, not with a Y, even though on the screen it kept having a
Why you say it like that?
That's what she said.
Yeah, you said Wendy.
Wendy? Yeah, that's how I say Wendy. Wendy. That's how you supposed to say Wendy. That's how you say.
You want to make some money, bitch?
Wendy. Hey, yo, Wendy.
I say you want to make some motherfucking money.
Hey, yo, Wendy.
Oh man, love South Park. I mean, let me shut up. Right.
Oh, it's going to be one of those episodes that we start referencing other things, because Keelan's halfway done with the movie already.
So, right. The hike begins smoothly, and the group is all having fun, and everybody's bonding and getting to know each other. And then Jake and Helen end up having them a little discussion at some point where, he tells her, mind you, this is like how the movie is paced. There's not much going on. There's a lot of background. The scenery is great. Like, the background looks really nice because they're really filming this in a forest.
Yeah.
That looks amazing. And if I'm honest, that takes up the majority of your attention through this movie, is looking in the background and them moving through the trees and them just sitting amongst the rocks. And of course, there's a couple of little quips here and there, but they end up having this discussion where we discover that, or not we discover, but Helen discovers that Jake believes that she was always too good for Mike. She was wasting her time with a loser like that. But he doesn't say that he's interested initially. He just says that she could have did better the whole time.
Which is kind of a moot point, because they're already divorced.
Right. It's like, oh, yeah, tell her what she already knew.
And she was not expressing any interest in going back to be with him. So.
No, at the end, what I figured from that was he never had the balls to say anything before, because he didn't want to be that friend who disapproved of her lifestyle type.
What I figure is that he has to say that so we as the audience understand it.
That he's a beta?
No, that her ex-husband was not right for her.
Oh, because we couldn't figure that out.
Well, the movie needs to justify the fact that she's out doing her thing, right. Like she's getting her groove back. So I have to reinforce the idea that he was not a good guy.
Did you say she got her groove back?
Yeah, he said that.
Mm-hmm. How Karen got her groove back. That's what this movie's called.
You see how Karen got her groove back?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Helen and Stella do kind of rhyme. How Helen got her groove back. How Stella go, yeah, okay, that could go.
Mm-hmm.
Helen, Karen,
Becky.
Hey now, she's an all-star. So as they're going through the hike and everything is spectacular, um,
Uh-oh.
it seems as if Jake and Wendy are having them a little feelings exchange, but of course we find out later that was more so a truth or dare, and that everybody was kind of elaborating. But Hugh goes and breaks his leg as they're out on a hike, and
Wait a minute. You skipped over a lot.
Not really.
not really.
I guess, you know what? Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, if there's something that you
like,
can think of,
what did you
then
think
let
that
us
jump
know.
out to you that I didn't say?
Yeah, fair enough. I said that. Because that's kind of like the middle of the movie, and the movie just started at this point, but yeah, you really didn't miss nothing.
Wow.
Nothing significant.
And it's not. We're not even being funny. That's just
Right.
That's what I was saying about the pacing. Like it's a damn near 2 hour movie, but there's really only about 40 minutes of material.
Right. Damn.
Just not being funny. Just I was watching the movie. I was surprised at a certain point how much, like when I was 40 minutes in, I was surprised there was a whole hour left in this movie. I was like, what's left?
Me too.
You know, and
Yeah, I got up at the halfway point, and I was like,
Well,
what else can we talk about?
I mean, there was some survival instruction from Doogie that you kind of skipped over, but none of that actually matters.
None of that matters in this side of telling it. I mean, those for those who want to go and see it. This movie's been out for a while already, so there's no need. There was no need for spoilers or any drawing like that.
You know what would have been better actually is if they had gotten separated from Doogie and had to survive for like a few days by themselves.
At least a full
that did happen.
Nah, it was
they
like
glossed over it.
It was like a 12-hour trip, and or a 12-hour period, and they spent more of the time back with.
That's why I said kind of
made it back.
Yeah, that's why I said kinda.
Yeah. That scene would have been more interesting when Hugh broke his leg had the cameras stayed with Hugh.
You know what? And I thought that at some point they would have made a bigger issue of Dr. Jake having the night blindness. I thought that would have been a bigger plot tool, and it just really only came up briefly, like towards the end of the trip when he.
That was the most pivotal part of the emotional scape of this movie.
You know what's funny about that is all I could think of is Dewey Cox. I lost my sense of smell.
Silly as hell.
God damn it.
My poor boy lost his sense of smell.
My poor boy. My God.
Walk hard. God damn it. You know, this is the funniest part of this movie, though. Our review of it.
Yep.
Always.
This is where all the comedy's at, in the review. It's not in the movie.
This is usually where the comedy is. At the end of the day, they have the type of comedy that's supposed to fit dialogue. Our comedy is based around the shit they missed.
Yeah, it's kind of quippy. There's a couple funny moments here and there, but they're not really impactful. They kind of just like they're very fleeting almost.
But their funny moments were only funny because in your head you're thinking, this is so stupid. And then you laugh to yourself at how stupid it is. That's more than funny.
Fair.
Can you point to any one specific moment that actually made you at least just chuckle? Like, ha, look at that. Anything like that? Because for me, it was just like I could crack a smile, but
I think it was with Hugh, and it was him basically. He kept calling Helen old, but not like, but indirectly,
right?
Because that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That was funny. That's kind of quippy. But he's just a funny character, and he's in Superstore as well, so he's funny in that. And then I think he's more of the comic relief in this movie, but then they take him out in the movie and they're like, all right, you broke your leg now, so see ya. There's still 40 minutes of this movie to go, and he's gone.
Never comes back.
Never comes back. Not even for the reunion afterwards. And he gets the award.
Party.
He gets the award at the end. He didn't even show up for that, huh?
Well, his leg was broken. He was. I don't know.
Well, yeah. But and it's still
he could have came in with a cast.
Hey, Tina H is back. What's up, Tina H?
Hey.
Tina H said they try too hard to be funny and it didn't work. I mean, yeah. That's why I say I feel like
I don't even know if they tried.
I think they tried.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say it this way, but I don't mean it with any level of disregard. It's like that Canadian style humor. Where
it was a little bit more flat and dry.
What's that?
What right? But I think Nick knows exactly what I mean. It's like you try to fit the humor into just everyday dialogue. It's nothing overt. You're not trying to make this big setup and a punchline type of a deal. It's just, hey, scenario based. Isn't this funny?
Right. Yeah.
No
slapstick.
Mm-hmm. Say it again, Mike.
Just a bunch of head flapping.
Just why do I ever ask him to repeat what he said?
Yeah, I don't know. You should learn your lesson by now.
and if you know, you know.
It's like
what it is. He'll say something. He'll say something innocuous, and then you ask to repeat it, and then he ups the ante a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, he probably puts a little more sauce. Look, at first you add pepper on your food, then he turned around, opened the whole bottle, and just faced it down.
Mm-hmm. Cayenne pepper.
So Hugh broke his leg. Helen makes it back to the camp, and she and Jake end up sharing a tent, which made no sense because you had her and Wendy, and then you had Jake and Bertram. No, his name's not Bertram. His name is Beckett. So you had two guys and two girls. No need for these two to start sharing a tent all of a sudden. But hey, and her tent mate was Wendy. So anyway, I don't have a problem with them sharing a tent. I just point out how it was kind of only convenient for them to have this discussion later at night about, all of their childhood stuff and his mom having the greatest, being the greatest mom that made icebox cakes and. Yeah.
What was it? What was the story that she was telling him about her trauma at 6 years old? Like she convinced the
brother died.
About the brother that died, Nathan.
Oh, so one of her brothers died. And that
was
another brother. Wait, so you hold on?
He drowned at the boat.
Hold on. Time out. Flag on the field. You mean to tell me that we only find out that her brother died when she was tiny, an hour into this, and not when she was interacting with her whole ass brother at the beginning of this movie?
Well,
or grandma.
Or grandma?
Yeah, so at the very beginning, the only time we see is right before she leaves for the hiking trip. She has this picture and she goes, "I'm doing it for you, Nate." And that's it.
I don't even remember that part.
I don't either. Yeah, that's a good.
I remember the whole scene about the brother thing, but I don't remember the picture. I probably
way back at the beginning.
Gas or something. I don't know.
I think the credits probably. I don't remember credits rolling at all at the beginning of this. But yeah, that happened. So those are the only two times Nathan was brought up.
And then the mother abandoned them.
Oh yeah, right. And their mama was a deadbeat.
Right.
Damn, deadbeat mom. Make that popular. Wait. Sorry, I gotta take that back. Don't make deadbeat moms popular.
But don't do that, guys.
Any more popular? They're already popular.
And that's why I said don't listen to Mike either. He's always towing that line, It's like me and Keelan are walking here. Mike just pushes us over.
That's right. Crying over here.
I mean, it's kind of a ballsy thing to do in the middle of your movie that's so far been very saccharine and light, to have the character talk about how their little brother died because of their negligence, and then their mother
At
abandoned them.
6.
Their negligence at 6.
How can you be
She's been
negligent at
hit
6?
hard on herself.
Trust me, as somebody who was responsible for my siblings at 6, you can be charged with negligence at 6 years old.
Damn.
Not by the police, but like your parents. You know,
No, I get
you
that.
didn't look
I
after
get that.
you didn't look after your sibling. You know, I got a lot of that as a kid.
Got you.
So
I was the kid, so I don't know.
Little trauma crept in there, huh?
I know.
Man.
All right. You're getting the PTSD sweats over here.
So where are we? We're at oh yeah. So they get up in the morning and they get back to Hugh, and they carry Hugh 3 miles to the ambulance. You know, Mason, Beckett, Jake, and I'm gonna call him Jonathan. Jake and Helen.
Doogie.
Helen is the fourth wheel.
Oh, right.
That carries the heaviest person in the entire hiking troop back.
Well,
No, Mason wasn't there.
yeah, Mason for
Who was
some
the fourth,
reason.
who was the fourth wheel? Was it Mason?
It was Jake, Helen, Doogie, and Wendy.
Mhm.
No.
What?
No,
wasn't it Wendy?
No.
Yeah,
It
it
was.
was.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
because
carried the body?
yes, because
Yeah.
Mason like totally.
Ma-
I don't
Mason
know.
was with the other group. Remember when they split? Because that plot point didn't even make it. It didn't matter.
But Mason was with the group, and he didn't do anything. He told like Window XP
He froze
shut
up.
down.
Yeah, he froze up.
Right.
He definitely went.
do 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 do.
He totally
Just-
powered off
Just powered off as at the worst possible moment, and yeah, just didn't. do
after
anything.
all that shit talking and all that bravado and all of that, all them shenanigans. He was just like, oh.
All that estrogen that we thought was testosterone. That's what happened.
I mean,
Right.
he literally didn't even help carry.
Turned into a soy
carry
boy.
Hugh.
I thought he was part of the carry crew, but hey,
Nope.
you know, if not, shame on him. Either way, so they carry Hugh for 3 miles. 3 miles. They carry him
After
3
going back
miles
to him.
back to the ambulance, and then they get back to camp. You know, just kind of high five Hugh and thank the ambulance and the paramedics. But we find out later that night Jake is lost in the dark. Jake is lost in the dark. Helen goes
After
to
fishing.
find him. Say it again.
After fishing.
I couldn't smell my way back to camp.
Right, they were fishing. And
Yeah, he lost his glasses, and we find out he's losing his eyesight. It's not just the night thing. He really about to go blind.
Hmm.
Him got glaucoma.
For real now. For real this time.
For real.
he should have brought some edibles with him.
So but after he tells her that he's losing his sight, he can't see at night. They go and sit around a campfire. So I guess that helps him see. And the snow starts to fall. And they get the first snowfall. The light snowfall falls all around them. And then the snow stops falling and they go to sleep.
Was I asleep?
Maybe.
Was free?
Because the snow,
Was Freeway
snow
nearby?
fell for a whole 7 seconds in this movie.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. Let me shut up.
But yeah, I'm not asking you nothing.
Nah.
You learn it.
You told yourself to shut up. So that means I don't want to know.
That's right.
So the next morning they end up heading back to the bus. Just that quick. You know, a little bit of snow, a couple of near-death experiences, but nobody except Hugh. Beginners hike over. Let's head back to the bus. They get back to the bus and they go and have a karaoke party. And Helen's waiting to get her certificate because, you know, even though she littered on accident, you know, she Helen and she ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
And Tina H said nobody listened to Mike. Yeah, nobody listened to Mike, the ex-husband or the one right here on this show with us. We appreciate that, Tina H. Tina H is paying attention. She's paying attention. I appreciate that. Helen leaves early from the karaoke party because she finds out that Jake got a little boo thing back home. And I'm like, Helen,
You're the
Helen,
boo thing.
stupid.
Right.
Pay attention, Helen. You know Jake back home because you are the thing back home. You know
Right.
ain't nothing back home because you know Jake.
Man, was that not?
What are you talking? That's when you're supposed to be the smart teacher, the smart doctor, and you guys are supposed to be smart together and figure it out. Figure it out.
Lord.
No. The movie needs you to think. It's the whole switcheroo. It's like, oh, will they, won't they? When we know they will, and it's like the whole movie was about them getting together.
I just like that this movie gave both of them high intelligence, or at least moderate intelligence jobs, and neither of them did anything moderately intelligent through this movie. He didn't do anything doctor-like. He applied gauze.
Yeah, she was the one that dressed the splint for Hugh's
right.
leg. Yeah.
And Doogie is the one who told everybody what to collect to do it. So what did he do doctorly?
He
Smart
asked
guy.
if he was pale, and he checked her blisters.
Quite smart guy. You're making me think a lot.
Right. I mean,
see, this is an alternate universe where he's actually Stephen Strange, and he was starting to get the shakes in his hand.
He was throwing up gang signs, and this is before. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
He's throwing up gang signs and stealing shit from Ryan Universe.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, hey, I mean, I guess it all works out for him because early on, she gets home, she reads young Jakey Jake's poem. That's why he Jakey Jake. But she reads the poem, and then she goes to see her grand, and her brother comes over.
When did he write that?
Before.
I guess before.
Okay.
Because so we also find out that even though he told her that he booked this ages ago, he booked it like 2 days before.
Right.
Once he figured out that's what she was doing.
That's what because he's a stalker.
Because he's a stalker. But he got the poem. He gave it to her right when the two groups split.
Yeah, but he wrote it.
That's when he gave it to her.
Desk at the house.
Later.
And he wrote it on
or read it later
after he made the booking online.
Right.
Dude, that poem was dramatic as shit, man.
I was thinking that too.
I long for you.
Yeah.
Kiss of me. As I pine for you, though it's me.
My heart burns with the intensity of a million suns at the idea of not seeing the sun glow upon your golden hair.
That's right. And don't forget, it's about family.
It's always about family.
It's always about
all right, Toretto's.
Unless it's about rabies.
Right.
Have any brew you want, as long as it's about family. Family brew.
Oh, God.
So yeah, she reads the poem. She gets off fluttery in the heart, and she falls back like a high school girl in a Thursday flick that comes on after you ate dinner, but before your mom told you to go to bed. And
you had to write the Babysitters Club.
You said again?
The Babysitters Club. Isn't that what we said at the beginning? It's like watching the Babysitters Club.
The poem?
No, like her falling back on the bed and then, like being all Twitter-pated about a poem that her boyfriend wrote her.
Oh,
it's
shit.
Very much like that.
No. Yep. Yeah, I know more about that than I do. Show my age here. Stuck in limbo somewhere between not knowing much about the Babysitters Club visually and talking about Ninja Turtles or something. But
he's trying to dig at us because we know about the Babysitters Club. He's too macho. He knows only about the Ninja Turtles.
I know only about the books.
Macho.
Did you know that all the turtles are dead and only Mikey survived? Oh, did you know that all the turtles are dead and only Mikey survived? Oh, bet you didn't know that.
Bet you didn't know there was a figment of somebody's imagination that was never real.
I bet you guys didn't know that they traveled back in time and visited feudal Japan.
I did.
Bet you didn't know.
I remember.
I remember.
Bet you didn't know my favorite time traveling episode of anything is the time traveling haters.
Oh, haters in time. Yeah.
Haters in time.
How about that?
All right.
I remember that. You remember?
I remember.
Buck Nasty's
so,
dish.
so essentially, Helen gets the poem. She get all fluttery about Jakey Jake, and then she goes to see her granny Gran. Go hang out with Gran. Then her
I
brother
think
show
Gran be
up.
getting high.
Hell yeah, she does.
Gran, she's definitely a hippie. Young brother show up. You know, she hugs her brother and apologizes to him for being a douchey sister his entire life. But she says she's gonna start working on it. And then
That's all right. She's only 40. She's got time.
She got plenty of time. And then turn around, they go to a party because Granny Grand that got back with her dude, Ricky. Hopefully he don't run down the alley no time soon. But she back with her dude Ricky. She back with her dude Ricky. And for whatever reason, Jake shows up at the party after, Helen's hanging out with her brother and dancing, and then he just Houdini's on her. And I'm like, yo, how he disappeared like that?
Mm-hmm.
But Jake walks in, and they hug, and they start talking, and then they kiss, and now they done agreed to be a thing.
Yeah.
And all surprised. And
was either one of them surprised? They didn't really look all that surprised. More like, finally.
They was waiting for them to figure it out. Like, oh,
right.
They finally did it? Okay.
Finally. God damn. Maybe one of y'all will shut up.
His granny walk up like, what's going on here?
Right.
As old as you is, you know what's going on here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, that was it.
And that's the end of the movie.
That's the end of the movie. That's really where it ends. Is they get together and everybody is happy, and they live happily ever after.
Until she breaks up with him.
I mean,
so you mean to tell me if she didn't even need to go to the woods, if she had just hung out with her brother, she probably would have had the same result.
The same guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She actually spent time with her little brother, then maybe.
Good thing she didn't, because then he got to kiss that hot 20-something-year-old.
There you go.
Man.
That's an experience for him. All she got was a scrape on the knee.
That's true.
No, she also got blisters on her crusty feet.
And blisters on her feet, which she wears Crocs, so that's probably gonna happen anyway.
Yeah.
That's not a slight.
And that, you know what? The Crocs were her morning wear because she was supposed to wear her boots that she purposely didn't bring so she could buy new boots because they were her choice and not the people who sent her the boots that she was supposed to wear.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Because she was supposed to break those new boots in.
She did, so I'm wrong with that.
Well, no, she said she didn't. She said she went out and bought some boots that fit better, and she was supposed to have been wearing the boots that they sent her because she was supposed to break them in so she wouldn't get blisters.
Right, and she said she forgot them.
No, she said she left them.
I get it. I agree with you. Stop yelling at me.
I ain't yelling at you yet.
This is a very emotional movie, you guys. I understand tensions are high. Don't worry. We'll work through this. Did she or did she not intentionally bring the boots? That's what we need to get to here.
Yeah. I honestly,
it's the most important part of the movie.
That, though. Her character, the way her character is built. Yeah, for sure, she's that person.
Yeah, I guess there's no stakes in this movie. There's no tension. There's no nothing. So that's fine. If that's what you want, where it's just like a waiting room painting for a movie, then this is perfect for that. But they really could have leaned a little bit into more of like them needing to survive while still keeping it funny. They could have gotten separated from Doogie for a few days, and then there would have been a lot of opportunities for funny wilderness type shenanigans to happen. Mm-hmm. And they just didn't take that route. They just decided to talk about a really like this. If this wasn't a book, it wouldn't get passed as a movie.
Probably not.
There's nothing to it.
I'm wondering what parts of the book did we not get?
I'm sure there's enough. I'm sure there's more about the dead brother and the
abandoning mother.
Yes, the absent mother.
I think this movie is probably darker than it or the book is probably darker than the movie leads on.
I was about to say I don't know. Jesus Christ!
Like if
This
they
movie is
really ran into the darker sides of what she's going through mentally, I
They
think
couldn't
this is
even get
supposed to
caught
be
in
like
some
a real mental
quicksand.
health type of thing.
man. Anything?
No quicksand, no waterfalls. Like these are the wilderness tropes. You didn't even do that for a laugh. Come on.
Right.
We barely even got to see any kind of fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No fishing, no hunting, no foraging.
No,
didn't
nothing.
Fish. We saw some fish, but they didn't fish them. We didn't see them fishing.
We didn't even see them flop on the ground.
Not even
They
a
were
bear.
already-
Not even a mountain lion. Not a bear. Not even a
That
rabbit.
even though they made
Right.
points to talk
Not
about
ant.
bears and the potential for bear sightings or attacks and preparation for bears, but then there's no all this foreshadowing of bears and then no bears. Not the bears.
Maybe the bears were the friends we made along the way.
Bears.
Right.
Up bears.
In Chicago.
Italian sausage.
Right. Jesus Christ.
Ticca. Sorry.
Oh man.
How's Starfield going for you guys?
Going great.
Good. That's wonderful
Just
to hear.
learn about Terra
Starfield's
more.
going great. I just called the question.
Mhm.
Yeah, Starfield's going absolutely great. It's fun. I mean, the same things that we didn't like in our first coverage of it, I'm still feeling a way about, but we'll talk about that in I don't know, 3 days.
Yes. That's
Right.
true. That's
I had a few things that I had thought about I didn't like that I was gonna bring up.
For sure. Yeah, we'll do that on Wednesday. We'll have our final review of Starfield now that you guys are a respectable number of hours into the game. So.
Right.
Well, no.
Oh shit.
I think I'm up to 35 days in,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah, I'm in deep now.
Yeah. Well, anything about this movie that you guys wanted to wrap up with?
What is there?
I expected it to still be a little more mysterious when it came to the wilderness aspect of it, but happiness for beginners. Also, when did we got to the happiness part? Wendy, the black girl, she introduced, that affirmations kind of a thing, speaking your happiness into existence. But other than that, this is definitely happiness for beginners because they only got to one step.
True. Yeah, it's more like just a rom-com that's sort of parading around as like a wilderness flick. Yeah, it's fine, but it's definitely not remarkable.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, I guess we have nothing else to say because there's a lot of blank spots in this moment. So let's go ahead and get to our ratings. I am going to give this Happiness for Beginners, the movie we just reviewed, at this moment, rating of jerk. I give this a 4. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think a 4 is fine. I don't think it deserves anything higher than that just because there wasn't enough actually going on in this movie. It's a very placid, unoffensive, uneventful movie. It doesn't dive too deeply into any characters. It's not diving too deeply into the wilderness aspect. It's everything surface. So if you like, this is like Muzak, but for movies. So if you enjoy sort of just like, non-offensive middle of the road movies, then you might like this, but there's not much to talk about and there's not much to remember. I doubt that I'll remember much of it, but it wasn't terrible. Like Keelan said, the scenery is very pretty. It's well lit. And the acting isn't terrible, if I'm going to say that. Like, I wasn't uninterested in any of the actors. I just didn't think that they dived deep enough into any of the themes going on here.
Yeah. I almost feel
Mhm.
like I was watching actors rehearse at their craft, which sometimes is comforting, and that's why I didn't hate this.
Yeah, it just is.
It exists.
Yes.
It exists. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Mike.
You guys like this movie way more than me. I give it a 3.
Okay.
Because again, like you guys said, it's not a bad movie. It's just not. It's. I didn't hate the movie. It just exists, and I happen to see it for reasons other than my own choosing. Not that I was forced.
I'm gonna start scouring all the streaming services for really bad rom-coms. See if I can find the most. I can find like the worst rom-com. Yeah.
To be fair, in my opinion, most of them are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yes, to varying degrees they are, but I'm sure I can find one that blows the rest out of the water.
I have some that are worse than this. Like I have some terrible ones that.
Yeah, but they're probably old now.
I got one for y'all right now, as a matter of fact, that we can put on the list. I'll tell y'all off air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We did it.
And it's new. Like,
you know what?
The last 3 years new.
The most I can say about this movie is I survived.
Hey.
Which is more than what Hugh can say.
He was definitely out of the game. Mm-hmm. Breaking a leg means death in this film or this universe. Either way,
clearly,
we appreciate you guys for hanging out here with us at Happiness for Beginners Review, Screen Time Continuum show. That was wow. We appreciate you guys for hanging out with us here at the Screen Time Continuum. This has been our review of the movie Happiness for Beginners. Go ahead and check that movie out if you have not seen it. If you don't want to watch it, you just want to see what we had to say because for whatever reason you caught us at the end of this episode, go ahead and rewind. I understand we do these things live. So when you get a chance, we're going to seg on out of here. We're going to put some things up for you to pay attention to, and you're going to see all of the shows that we have for the entire week. All types of things for you to hold on to, treasure, pass along to your friends. Like an episode, dislike an episode, share an episode, download an episode. You have If Numbers Could Talk, Screen Time Continuum, Strawberries and Coffee, King_of_Ilion, The Exofathom, and This Married Moment, all on every single platform that you have on your phone. I don't know what platforms you have, but I know for a fact that we're probably on them. And if we're not on them, you tune into our next video and you comment that we're not on that platform, and I guarantee we'll be on that platform sometime soon. But with that being said, we appreciate you guys for tapping in, checking out this review. We will see you on Wednesday when we give you a little bit more about our experience on the video game Starfield. We already gave you Starfield episode 1. I believe that was 1 week ago to the day, last Sunday. And this coming Wednesday, we'll be giving you another episode on how we feel, our review, and our progress on the game Starfield.
And our ratings.
Ooh, and our ratings on the game Starfield. But with that being the case, thank you guys for hanging out tonight. For the Screen Time Continuum, my name is Keelan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Mike.
Appreciate you guys. This definitely was Happiness for Beginners, man. Mike's so bored by this. Can you guys tell?